We are here with Shirley Karstad with volunteering. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me to volunteer to be here.
Yeah, well, isn't that wonderful? And it's so important to volunteer. Why do you think it's so important to volunteer?
Well, first of all, we all live in a community. Mm-hmm. Community means people, organizations, businesses. And how do these things keep going? How do they keep operating? Yes, there's paid positions, but that doesn't cut it. Mm-hmm. There needs to be people to help these people, whether it be teaching, whether it be planning things, whether it be organizing. And like I said, a community has a school, it has a church, it has people inside houses.
So how did you get started in volunteering?
You know, I think from the inside out, there's a calling, there's a need to help. And to help doesn't mean always physically, it just means being present, to see things that need doing, and to become active and doing without asking, without being paid, sometimes even without being recognized. It's okay. It's just the little things. And so I think from within, I have that need. My personality is to be a helper. So I think that's how I got started.
And what are some of the rewards of volunteering?
I think the greatest reward is the satisfaction of being there for someone. And by that satisfaction, I mean a sense of peace, a sense of joy, a sense of compassion. It has brought me so many gifts of being more aware of people's needs, where they're coming from, being less judgmental, being compassionate, being able to sit and listen instead of doing. And I have found out that it doesn't always mean doing, but it means the heart. It has to come from within, not from without. And you know, it's a job because it requires commitment, but you don't get paid for this job. And when you don't get paid for this job in money, you don't pay income tax. Hey,
so there's some good benefits to volunteering.
That's one of the benefits.
That is wonderful. And that is so important. And that's why I wanted to have you on my show, because you rock, because volunteering is the core of our society, isn't it? It's so important. So tell us some of the things that you're involved with in volunteering.
Well, over the years I've been involved with many things, with Boy Scouts, with canvassing in the neighborhood for Red Cross, diabetes, you name it, going door to door. That was one way I got to meet the neighbors who lived next to me. I always wanted to canvass on my street. And that was very rewarding. I have a husband who volunteers with me, so that's time for us to do things together. And he does his thing and I do my thing sometimes, and that brings a sense of sharing into our home of other needs and what we've been doing. Volunteered with the Canadian, with the Boy Scouts, went to a Canadian Jamboree, and I think that was a highlight in my life. I worked with 10,000 boys. I never was a Boy Scouter myself, so that was a new experience. My husband and I, we do Meals on Wheels. We're into our 13th year of once a week, and sometimes the days vary during the year, and so do the routes that we do. And when you deliver this meal to these people who no longer can cook for themselves, and some of these are only temporary. Someone may just have come home from the hospital, maybe they've just had a surgery, maybe they've lost a loved one and are grieving, and so you come to their home and you bring them this meal and you give them a smile. You may be the only person that they saw for that day. And sometimes these people just need a hug. And all people may not be easy to hug, but it's okay. You can still hug them. And a smile doesn't cost.
So wonderful.
It is.
Yeah, it is wonderful. You're bringing more than food and nutrition then to them with Meals on Wheels.
Another thing that I'm involved in right now is, well, we have been involved for many years with helping out refugees and people coming from other countries to settle in, mainly people from Eritrea, from Africa. And just this past fall, through the church, but by a private sponsor, a family of 4 came, a mom and a dad and a 13-month-old baby and a 13-year-old boy. And the sponsoring gentleman said, your job is to get him into school. Well, within a week, I found out, I am a teacher back in the day, okay? I found out exactly where I needed to go to have him assessed for English. He is in school. He came with no English except hi. And he's in grade 8. And he has to go to high school next year. And I'm going, oh my God. So I asked if I could come to school when the English second language teacher is helping him to listen, to sit in on the class, interact sometimes, often. And then to come on my own during the week and take him out of the classroom and work with him. And what a joy that is, because he is a young man and he smiles all the time. He's grateful. He's like a sponge. He wants to learn. So that's an easy volunteer. That I come home and I'm just like piped up high, right?
I bet.
I just feel so good about that.
Again, another reward to volunteering. Not everything's about money in life. Some things are just, doing with the heart and helping people is so rewarding in that.
And another thing that I'm involved in is prison ministry. I go to jail, to the Saskatoon Correctional Center, that's what it is, once a week, and do centering prayer with the inmates. It's a form of meditation. It's a quiet time. And I'd never been in a prison before. I volunteered for this. And people say, oh, aren't you scared? No, there's a sense of peace. I have learned that there are people like you and I, and you know what? A lot of them are in there because of the circumstances, where they've come. So I've learned to be grateful for where I have come from. I've learned to be less judgmental, to be compassionate. And these inmates speak to us, talk to us. They don't tell us their story. That's not why we're there. But I haven't heard one of them say, it's somebody else's fault that I'm here. It's always, I've made a wrong choice. I've made a bad decision. Most people on the streets, we look at inmates and we think, you deserve to be there. Not so. Yes, there is punishment. They are suffering the consequences of their actions. And hopefully they're learning something. So that too, for me, comes from deep within, and I am grateful for that experience.
I can tell that you're very passionate about volunteering, but also that you look at life as a learning experience too, and what can I learn from that? Correct.
Oh, that's such an important thing, Marion, because I often tell my husband when we come into these situations as we're aging, because a lot of our ministry and a lot of our volunteering is with seniors, and we're coming into these homes and we're seeing these situations. And not all these people are antiques, they're just aging. But some of them refuse to change, to let go of things. And so I come home and I say, what did we learn from this? When we leave this earth, we're not taking these things with us. Why are we hanging on to what's not important? And so as a result of that, we've downsized in 10 years from a home, because we have 6 children, from a home to a townhouse, and now to an apartment-style condominium of only 1,000 and some square feet. That's all the space we need. We don't need any more space. So we do learn. And again, learn. I heard a nutritionist speaking about take care of your bodies. You can keep volunteering, but we need to learn to take care of self. If I don't take care of me, no one's going to. So I just can't be going all the time. You need to learn to set boundaries. Which means taking time away. So I do this by meditating, going for walks. I'm a nature lover. I still make angels in the snow. I need to walk in the leaves in the fall and hear them crunch beneath my feet. We go on vacations. I can sit and do nothing. Everybody calls me a busybody, and I am, because I'm always going. But I can sit and do nothing. And it's my way to re-energize so that I am ready
to volunteer. Which is so important.
Correct.
So what are some people, what can they do to volunteer? How would they start? How would you suggest somebody that's not sure where to start and to get involved in something, where would you suggest they go?
Well, we all live in a community. You asked me about community. In a community, there's the community situation. The community situation sends out flyers. They send out notes saying, we need help. Most people belong to churches. we need a greeter.
Okay.
That's a job. Most people say, we just need someone to make phone calls. You may not be able to get out of your home. I know a lady, she was in a nursing home, and she still arranged how the poor people got clothing, and she made the phone call, and she phoned us one day, and she says, I got all these clothes, but I can't get them there. Could you get them there? That's volunteering. So we don't need to have lots of energy with physical energy, but we just have to have it from the heart. So there's another way to get volunteering. If there's a school in your area, a school asks for people to come in, to listen to children read, to listen to these people who have just come, who don't know English, to help these newcomers to our country, lifestyles. Our family that came, she never had a stove. So you need to take time to go and, this is how you use an electric stove. So there's many ways you can volunteer.
But you can do something, and everyone can do something, can't they?
Absolutely. You don't need to be physically, healthy. It helps to get out, but you don't need to be. That self comes from within by just doing what you can do. You know what? It's better to light one candle in the dark than to curse it.
That's for sure.
I am a little candle. I'm not perfect. I never will be perfect, but I can do some things.
And you're a light of love. And Mother Teresa always said, do little things with love. We don't have to do the big things, but we can do the little things.
Exactly.
And do what you can.
Correct. Yeah. And I've had good mentors. My parents volunteered. They helped in the church. They helped in the community when we grew up on a farm. All that stuff. I've had teachers that were good mentors. I've had seniors that are good mentors. So I've been so blessed to have people giving, and my gift to my children is that now my children volunteer wherever they are with their little.
It's a gift to have you on my show.
Thank you.
And I feel so blessed to have met you, and thank you for volunteering.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, and you rock.
That was Shirley Karstad with volunteering.